So today I'm going to talk about transdisciplinary research and education at GSAIS. So we just want to introduce ourselves, to Professor Rain and Sakamoto-san, and also try to tell us, what kind of achievement we have so far and what kind of challenges we are facing. So I think time is limited. So the first part, which is achievement, I will try to, do it quickly so that, we can talk about more about, challenges and other stuff and so on. Okay, so we are the GSAIS. So we are called Graduate School of Advanced Integrated Studies in Human Survivability. And our school established in 2013 as the leading program, which is one of the government funding, program as a Kyoto University Shishukan. After that, we created this graduate school and we changed the name to this GSAIS. So GSAIS is a place of education and research that focus on global issues. So we do have a lot of global issues these days, climate change, aging, and environment or ending, and gender equalities and so on. But we need some solution to solve these global issues. But the problem is that if you just learn one field, most of the case, it's very hard to solve these global issues. For example, I'm working on environmental issue, but if I just have a knowledge in chemistry, environmental issues is hard to solve because it's not just involves chemistry, it's involved economics and all other stuff as well, which we have to have a knowledge to solve those big global issues. So what we are, proposing is that we have the target goal, which is global issue, and we have to do a backcasting. And this could be similar to what Professor Lane mentioned, the goal, focus investigation. So we do have a goal, which is the global issue, and we wanted to do the backcasting. So we have to think what we should do to solve those issues and try to find out, okay, what kind of social implementation we should do, or what kind of knowledge we need, and what kind of language we have to speak, or what kind of research we have to do, and so on. So that's why we're asking students to learn all this stuff by doing backcasting and try to solve the global issue. And our education
すいません。
system. はい。
画面の共有がうまくいってないみたいです。
本当にうまくいってないですか。さっきちょっと変だなと思ったんですけど。これでうまくいってます？
OK です。
OK ですか。はい。Okay, so at GSAIS, we have this education system, which I'm going to describe in detail. But first, what we wanted to say is we are a 5 years PhD program. So mainly in Japan, first students take 2 years master's and join 3 years PhD program. But our GSAIS is 5 years PhD program, which means that we're asking every student to join as a PhD student from their first year and go through 5 years to receive PhD, which is still a quite unique system in Japan. And we're asking students to create their own research topic. And students can select the supervisor team that fit to their own research. And also we're asking students to learn transdisciplinary research and also a lot of different fields. Oops. So the first, as I mentioned, we kind of say like, we need at least, every students have more than, or at least 2 supervisors, which is again, still quite unique system in Japan. And also we're asking every students to join, stay in this dormitory. So every year we are taking 20 students maximum. And we're asking most of the same, if they have a family, if they have some other job to do, now they don't have to join this dormitory, but we're asking every student to join this dormitory and live together and learn together. And this is like a curriculum structure, the core structure. And the unique thing is that this 8 thoughts. So we're asking students to learn other field of their main study or the main field. If, for example, if student has already a science knowledge, we're asking students to take other studies rather than science, and we're asking 8 thoughts in the first 2 years. So that they can gain a lot of different knowledge through our PhD program. And also we are having this Jukugi, which is a very special seminars. So not just from our academia, we're asking like COE or the person from NGOs or government agency to give a seminar to our students. And also we are asking students to join this service learning, which is kind of try to learn the real life, the real issues that the societies are facing. So we are asking students to join some volunteering work in overseas or in local as well. And also, as I mentioned, we have 5 years PhD program. In the 5th or 3rd or 5th or 4th or 5th year, students should join this overseas internship. So we call as a Mushashugo. So students can go overseas and join universities or research institute or international organization, and more than 6 months, at least 6 months as an internship, so they can gain overseas experience. In the last year, they have to do this project-based research, which is they have to create a project. They have to do a research which is very applied. So they should use their research that they study through these 4 years, and they have to apply to the real daily life or the real society as a research. So that's why we are calling as this project-based research. So this is kind of the core structure. So the image of the course, the first, 2 years, they try to get the knowledge. And after that, they start learning a practice as well. And then they finish their research and also move on to this project-based research, more on practice. So even like a knowledge, we're not just asking them to focus on one specific research, one specific topic. We're asking them to gain a lot of different knowledge through our graduate school. So hope that you understand our core system and our structure. And these are like, our achievements, which are our graduate students. And these are the titles of their thesis. And you can see that they're trying their best to do some transdisciplinary research. Yeah, so these are, so recent graduate, students' thesis titles. So as you can see, it's very, multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary and so on. It's not, you can see that our students are not just focused on one field or not from the same field. You can see there's a lot of different fields, that our PhD students, study. Yeah, and also after they graduated, they're joining universities, whiteboard the global organizations and companies and so on. So these are the achievements. So as I mentioned, next year, we started establishing in 2013. So kind of we are spending close to 10 years now. So we do have these achievements that, we're doing this kind of special curriculum that's very unique in Japan. And we are creating a lot of graduates coming out from our universities, our graduate school. Okay, so I think I still have like, another 5 minutes or so. So let me try to focus on these challenges. What we should, what kind of like, thing that we should still thinking or what we should still improve. So challenges, how to support students transdisciplinary. And today we had the talk from Sakamoto-san, the Dr. Sakamoto, about convergence of knowledge research. So we're asking students to do a transdisciplinary research or convergence of knowledge research. In Japanese, we call sogochi. But the question is how long it takes. So we know that it's not that easy. So that's why we have this 5 years PhD program. But when to introduce transdisciplinary is still, we have to think about it. And as Professor Lane said, that it's not simple. So, well, of course, we believe that we have to introduce transdisciplinarity to students even from first year. However, of course, they have to have their specific, knowledge so that they can build a transdisciplinarity from their specific knowledge. So when to introduce transdisciplinarity is a big challenges. But we believe that introducing transdisciplinary is very important from the beginning, so that, as we all know, because our generation grown up in very traditional research field, and we all know that it's very hard to change the transdisciplinary afterward, once you have a specific knowledge focus. It's best that you already have a transdisciplinary idea in the beginning, then start learning their knowledge, the specific knowledge afterwards, so they can build a transdisciplinary up on top of their specialties. And so, but when it's, important, and also, how do we overcome the cultural difference between faculty members? And again, our generation, grown up in the traditional way. So in our, faculty members have to learn transdisciplinary research as well, so that we have to, find a way so that we can overcome the cultural difference between faculty members. And also, I think, the other, next one is still, similar question or the similar challenges, but there are still a limited number of academia working on transdisciplinary research in Japan. And I think that's why one of our students asked a question to Professor Lang, we are doing transdisciplinary research, but it's very hard to say to other academia what we are doing because they don't have a culture and about transdisciplinary research. So they think that, why you're not focused on specific research. We are doing, most recent research or the most, most important research that even today, the Japanese, government is focusing on those convergence of knowledge, and the global world is changing. However, there's still a lot of researchers only focus on specific, research. So that's why it's very hard to communicate between those two, which is, how we can say that transdisciplinary research is important to those people who only think that specific research is important. And also the last one is that how to evaluate the transdisciplinarity. So reviewing, as Professor Lane also mentioned today, that reviewing or monitoring is very important. However, how we can evaluate that, so how we evaluate that this research is having a lot of transdisciplinarity or this research has less transdisciplinarity. We still, have to think about all these things so that we can, improve ourselves. So again, this is our curriculum that in Japanese, so that we have to think that how long the students should focus on specialized research, or when we should, let students to focus on transdisciplinarity research is again, very challenging topic. So what we are currently doing is that we are holding these transdisciplinary research groups. So we're kind of having this research group not focus on one subject. For example, we don't say we have a research topic, research group on chemistry, physics, or arts, or business, or economy. We try to create these transdisciplinary research group. But again, we have to, think about how we can keep improving these, research groups and so on. All right, so let's go back to, my opinion, about, so how we can do transdisciplinary researches and why it is important to do transdisciplinary researches. So usually, we do have still, in traditional way, we do have a lot of research collaboration. We do a lot of research collaboration, but just doing research collaboration is not transdisciplinary research. So example, I used to work in Faculty of Science, and of course, I collaborate with people from Faculty of Engineering or Faculty of IT, and we create new materials. But those are just a research collaboration. So, transdisciplinary research is that, of course, we should do a collaboration. We should try to engage a lot of people to join, and we should create, we should have a lot of knowledge together. However, we have to find a solution, not just making the materials. So, for example, if you focus on environmental issue, try to solve the solution of the environmental issue is the transdisciplinary research, not just making something or doing just a collaboration. So this is just back to my story. So I'm a chemist by training. So I just trained by a chemist in the PhD program, like more than 20 years ago. So, but now, so I'm trying to do a transdisciplinary research. And so I'm very focused on this circular economy, try to create a circular economy. And of course, I still wanted to use chemistry as well, but I know that chemistry is, is not, it's just a one tool to do a circular economy. So in the past, as I mentioned, I was making a lot of materials from renewable resources. So I was creating like a, biodegradable polymers, which I was believing it's green, plastics or green materials, environmentally friendly materials. And however, so then this is like a collaboration work with engineering or physics and so on. So I try to make a new materials from biomass and renewable resources. But now I'm believing that that's not enough. Of course, I start working, all right, are we sure making those plastics from, renewable resources green? So I start thinking about, doing some calculations or try to find the metrics that can find out the greenness or environmental friendliness, those things. And also start thinking about the entire big picture of the recycling or upcycling possibility, which is strategies, approach, so on. But again, this is still, not transdisciplinary. I think we have to do more than this to make it transdisciplinary. So one of the example that, I wanted to introduce is that now we're kind of making more bigger group. So this is Chem Bioeconomy Research Center under our Social Innovation Center. So as you can see, these are our members from GSAIS, Professor Ikeda, myself, and Professor Yamashiki. However, we ask, we're making bigger group from, School of Agriculture and School of Energy and Science. And we wanted to find out the method or the new way to create, to try to create like a new chemistry, but also bioeconomy system, and so on. All right, and also as a last, thing, the future of chemistry. So I just want to tell, others that, of course, I still love chemistry. I will do chemistry as well, but, future of chemistry, definitely we need transdisciplinarity, because that, we now know that, well, the chemistry job is try to make new molecules or try to analyze molecules. However, the number of, elements are limited. So just making materials, in the future, the AI or material informatics, those, things can definitely solve those issues. So we have to think more than that. We have to think, not just making stuff. We have to do more than that as a chemist. So that's why the transdisciplinary is needed. So not just chemistry, every subject is changing this way. We need transdisciplinary to do some research. So that's why we believe that those transdisciplinary research is very important. And I just want to thank my students. And if you're interested, we do have this GSAIS YouTube. So please have a look. And sorry that it's already, so most of them are only in Japanese, but if you have a chance, please check our YouTube. Thank you very much for your kind attention.